Okay, so we're going to get started with some development. Okay, so last we were here, we were working on the good and bad skins for DayZ, for our DayZ server. Now, today we did move to fall, so I think what I should do is I should go here and I should find if we have Summer Shannars loaded. No, we do not. Okay. Most times Summer Shannars is just a visual overhaul, so like there's really no reason to like load it when I'm testing things. I mean, of course, if I'm testing full compatibility, I would load every mod that we use because compatibility matters. But in this case, Summer Shannars is just a texture overhaul, and a very good one at that. All right, so let's get started. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be just kind of cracking this out. Nothing super fancy, but just kind of a lot of config work, to be honest. So last time we were here, we had some got the rings done, right? So what we want to do now is we want to essentially make add the rings to be spawned in, but we gotta scale the rings to be properly to work properly with what we have. So let's open up Object Builder. Let's go to our file, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our we're going to go to our rings, which, you know, I can actually just go like this. I can just go file, and then go to good rings, bad rings. Honestly, it really doesn't matter which one I use. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a proxy player. I have some proxies that were so useful. So I have the proxies right here. We're just going to proxy in a male player, and then we're going to drag this off of the screen, and then I'm going to push F12, and we're just going to open it up. And it's going to render. It may take a few seconds because DayZ's object builder seems to have problems with it doesn't like cylinders. it just does not like cylinders. So honestly, we actually chose the wrong proxy. The reason why that's the wrong proxy is because there's no hands, and we kind of want to choose the hands, a proxy with hands, because that will show us how bad we need to scale the thing. So like this is a good proxy right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apparently so we're going to select our cylinders, and then we're going to just scale it down to the size of the thing. And the way we do that is do Control Shift, hold right click, and then while you're holding Control Shift and holding right click, you can move the mouse up and down. Up is to get bigger, down is to get smaller. So go like that. And all we're doing is we're just going to keep scaling it down until we get to about the appropriate size. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that like I don't want to like go super crazy on it, but the reality of the fact is the average player is probably not going to know the difference between an exact ring size fitting versus a not fitting ring size. As long as it looks like it could go on a finger, they're not going to care. Alright, so now, there we go. And we just gotta make it smaller. Yeah, so something like that. And honestly, we could even technically play with this a little bit and rotate it like that. And then we could go closer. We could go down a bit. And then we can go to the side. Up a little bit. Zoom in because I'm not getting it perfectly on there. We can go down a little bit. A little bit. Too much. And there we go. So I could technically now size the rings a little bit smaller. So like that. And then that looks like it would fit on somebody's finger, right? So all we do is now just make this work with the thing, and then we just transport this to the middle again. And then we can just put this on the ground. Now, if anybody here knows how to like make this be perfectly centered, like offset wise, feel free to let me know. One of the things I don't know how to do is make things perfectly centered. But I've never really had an issue with it, to be honest. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close down this. And this is our new bad ring. And all we're going to do is do Control C. We're going to open up our good rings. And we're going to delete those. Control V. And we're going to delete the proxy, of course. And then we're going to go to this, and we're going to go to our good and evil rings, skins, ring textures, good rings, and then obviously .paa, choose the color one, and then choose the good one, apply, okay, and then we gotta just put it together. So let's open up the bad rings real quick, and let's clear the proxy out of there. So now we need to just essentially put this together. Honestly, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make the bad ring P3D fully, and then I'm just going to save the bad ring one, and then I'm going to change the textures on the rings to the good ones, and I'm going to save over the good ring with that. That way I don't have to do it twice, everything. Alright, so let's go to New, Properties, Geometry, and then you push F7, and then align to bottom, and then you push V, scroll down. Now, I don't know how many people here have actually ever like worked with Object Builder, but if you haven't, what I've done with my four windows is my top window is on the y-axis up here. You can set what axis your thing works off of, and then these windows are the x-axis, and then obviously my 3D plane is anything but. is that anything goes in there. Most times I don't really mess with the 3D preview axis because I honestly just want to be able to move anywhere I want without having to worry about how good or bad it looks. All right. So honestly, when you're doing these kind of like small objects, you honestly kind of want it to be a bit bigger than the object itself, just a bit. Because in my opinion, small things like this need to be seen, and the bigger the geometry box, the more, I guess, clunky the movement looks up close. So I think it's easier to see when you have a little bit of clunkier movement. So if somebody were to throw these and I had them exactly the same shape and size as the rings, it may not be easy to see it being thrown. Obviously, it's still going to be difficult to see because it's small rings, but I digress. And then we go to our structures. We go to topology, find components. Voila. Actually, Helkiana taught me that trick. Helkiana's a pretty cool person if you ever get a chance to watch her streams. Alright. Let me see here. I'm just checking some stuff real quick. Alright, everything's good. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to essentially duplicate this geometry. I think it's like 4 times. And then we're going to go to fire geometry. Now, fire geometry is going to be the geometry in which we say the effect. Now, honestly, I don't know how these effects work. I probably should look into how they work. All you do is go to DayZ, you go to data, you go to penetration, and then you choose essentially what you want it to be. I like to go for things like this with the iron plate. The reason being is because it will spark and it will sound like you're shooting metal. Then we're going to go to number 3, go to properties, and we're going to choose view geometry, and then we're going to right click, go to properties, and we're going to go to memory. Now obviously we don't need this one right now, so no need. Okay, now view geometry handles essentially how far a person has to be when somebody enters this box of the view geometry. It's what registers as you can view this object. Now for small objects like this, you want to make sure the view geometry is larger, like much larger than the regular geometry, because like this geometry right there is really small. Like I can show you how small it is. Give me a second. Proxy, browse, player proxies, simple skeleton, boop, and then F12. So this is our character, and this is the geometry we have. Now, can you imagine if we had the geometry back to the scale of the object? So like this. That's what it would look like. That small area. If you were looking for the rings on the ground and you had not like seen exactly where they are, you would never find them. I guarantee you. Like, it would be incredibly difficult to find. So we're just going to be essentially, reverting back to what we had before. And as you can see, that's much better, right? It's not hard, impossible to find, but it's definitely not easy to find them, right? So it's about half the length of a foot and about the width of a foot, right? So I'm happy with that. So let's get rid of the skeleton. We can close that window down because we don't need that. And then object, boop, there we go. Okay, so now let's get started with the memory points. So memory points are a interesting aspect of this situation. What memory points are it could be a bunch of things, honestly. They could be CE center, CE radius. I do not understand those ones fully. I know how Kiana tried to teach me. My friend Mass knows more than me on it, and so does lots of other people. Trust me, I'm by far one of the few people who don't know everything yet. Just kidding. Well, nah, that's not true. That's true. I don't know a lot. But then you can do like bounding box min, bounding box max. You can do IN view. You can do memory points that you can attach particle effects to, which is actually a great way to use to attach particle effects or create them. Of course, if you do that, you want to make sure you have the particle effects rendered client-side only, because rendering particle effects on servers destroys server performance. Okay, so I digress. So now we have this bad boy right here, right? Our little circle. The reason why we I gotta figure out how to zoom in, because I no longer have a keyboard that I don't have a keyboard that has a numpad plus and minus. So I gotta figure out how to do this. Okay, so let's go to our shortcuts. Let's find select a command in the menu. So zoom in. All right, right now that is numlock plus, right? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to change that to a regular plus sign, and we're just going to put a where is it? Where's my special characters? Okay, how about we just do that, and then we're going to make it a control. So see if that worked. Control. There we go. That's what we wanted. And then we should honestly change the zoom out one too. And we're just going to change that one to down arrow control. So where is it? Down, and we're doing control. There we go, saved. Let's test it. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to vertice mode, and we're going to select the far upper back corner. We're going to go to new, we're going to go to bound, and then we're going to type in bounding box underscore max. And we're going to select the bottom front rightmost corner and go to bounding box min. Now it's good to make sure you name these properly, at least I believe. So we're just doing bounding box max and we're doing bounding box min. Now what that does is it creates the camera to be centered on the min and max points is the camera angle, is the camera radius and width, length and width, right? So what you're going to do is we want to create the camera angle for the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, we're going to click in there, we're going to push insert, creates a vertice. And we're going to raise up the vertice, and then we're going to put the vertice in the front of it, like that. And because these are rings, we're going to go like this, and we're going to go a little bit away. And we'll have to play with this, obviously, to perfect it. But then we go to right click, we go to the thing, create new, INVVIEW, in view. Now this technically can go a little bit in the center here. There we go. And then we're going to save it. And that is all of our stuff handled. Honestly, what we could do is we can go auto center 0, and then we can call it good now. All right, now let's essentially make these into the good rings by going to I tell you what, these ones are always really when I name things some weird stuff. I really get confused. And we're going to go save as, we're going to save, replace, and then now we're ready to make a config for it. Okay, so now we got both of those things, and we're going to make a config, and we're going to go class good rings, and then it inherits off of the inventory base, and boop, and then boop. Okay. Then we're gonna go class bad rings, and then we're going to inherit off the inventory base. Obviously, we're going to open and close real quick because we don't have anything to put in here. Now we're just going to go to one of my various amounts of things. Honestly, we don't need to do a whole lot with this. We just have to have a name, a description, a model, and that's it. So it's incredibly easy. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort to make this a thing. Maybe we'll, oh yeah, and we need the item size. So we're just going to copy this, and then we're going to go here, and boop, and then boop, and then boop. Alright. Okay, don't forget your semicolons. Those are kind of important. Okay, so, honestly, we don't care about, item behavior, absorbency at all. Those can all go away. We do care about weight because everything in the game should have a weight. There is like a default it will go to, but you know, it's always good to have your own weight. And I'll come up with a snazzier description for it in a minute. Just because, like, if I don't know. I don't want to put up a description yet. I'm not good with words. Alright, and then 1,000 units of the weight is 1 kilogram. Honestly, these things should only weigh like 1/10 of a kilogram. Or not even that, like probably like 50. They're really light, rings are. And they should be a 1 by 1, but we're going to make it like a 3 by 3. The reason why we make it a larger thing when we're first testing out like the model and stuff like that is because then if you use a larger item size, you can actually see how it looks in the inventory overall, to make sure you don't have like really any weird things going on. Okay, so good and evil, alphabetical, Andrew. So do, and then go like this, and then we can just boop, and then boop, and then copy, paste, and obviously we're going to make sure that the file pathing is correct. Okay, so we got the bad rings and we got the good rings. Alright, I think we're ready for a test. Let us open up the object builder. Prefix, okay, let's pack. Mind you, probably going to have a problem. And if we don't have a problem, then it makes me wonder why we don't have a problem. Just kind of a little funny thing there that I feel whenever I'm making a mod is, or working on modding. If I boot up the server and there's no errors, what did I do? Because usually you expect an error the first time. And there were no errors. Okay, so we're going to join the server now. My dog went outside, so if you heard that, my apologies. So who are you, eyelashes? Do you play on the server? Alright, let's see how they look. Good rings. Okay. I think my Bounding box is broken. Yeah, the bounding box is broken. Yeah, okay. So we just gotta fix the bounding box on both of them. That shouldn't be too hard. I haven't done this for a while, so I'm going to open up one of my other things real quick just to make sure that I did this right. Nope, not you. Yeah, you. Oh, lowercase. No, that was correct. Oh, maybe I didn't say the IN view? Who knows? Save. I'll open bad rings, memory, rename INV view. Bounding box, min, bounding box max. Okay. So let's pack it again and let's test it again. Alright, so it's packed. I love wasabi. Well, the server started up with no issue. There we go. That's what we wanted. How do the bad rings look? Oh yeah. Honestly, I might make the bad rings angle a bit more less tilted and more of a head-on, so you can get like a good view of them overall. Maybe we can move it in a little bit closer. I feel like we could just move in the view on the rings a little bit overall. Just let them out. Be right back, folks. Sorry about that. If it even matters. Boot it up. And then let's join it in a second. Alright. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's join the server. Yeah. This peach mango light armor drink is, but gotta get healthier. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that looks nice. What do you guys think? Think that looks good? I think it does. Let's take some pictures for the Discord. Always good to take some pictures for our Discord.
The perfect partner.
What the heck? Some stupid ad. Alright. So now we got that done. We should look at the... Honestly, they're damp. Why are you absorbing anything? Just... They're rings. They shouldn't absorb anything. So, just put them to 0 absorbency. There you go. 0.0. Can't be thing. Now we're gonna make this like a 1x1 because they're rings. They're meant to be small. All right. Okay. So we got the character skins, good, bad, bloody hands done. We got the spawning of characters done. Spawning of characters is, you know, like, hey, I choose to be one of the old man. Well, if you're the old man and you're a bandit, you'll spawn with black rings on your fingers. If you're, you know, a good man, you'll spawn with the good rings. A version of that skin. So what we need to do now is we need to look up the cut person out of being tied up. So some action. I think knife. One of the knives will have it. Action. Unrestrained target. There we go. Okay. So now we're making a custom action for removing the fingers of your unsuspecting people. So what we want to do is we're going to look at the action and how it works. So let me see here. Float is default unrestrained unrestrained time equal 2. Okay. And it goes float unrestrained obtain an unrestrained time, and then it goes to the player base, target player, okay. Player base, source player, okay. Honestly, this is just the CB part. You need to look at this, the target. So let's see here. Hey, Giselle. Do apologize if I don't remember you. We're gonna call you Jin. because I suck at saying names. Let's see here. So, I got the... So, it returns unrestrained. The distances are default, of course, and non-ruined. I mean, you can't use a ruined knife to unrestrain somebody. It calls in the target object is the player, and then it calls in the entity in hands. So, honestly, what I can do is I gotta make it so it triggers a replacement of the skin on the person. It generates the rings on the ground, and it puts a bleeding source on the person. And then we got to make it so when you skin a person, it checks their morality and it spawns. If you cut someone up, it checks their morality and it will spawn either good or bad rings, depending on the morality. Okay, overall, I think the action itself is pretty simple. But I need to look at it a bit more. So, action, unrestrained target, CB. Honestly, we can set the action here to be kind of pretty much almost a fully static kind of thing, just because we don't need to like really go through a whole lot of effort to make this CB work. So we're going to call it action cut off finger CB. And then of course, you know, copy and we're going to save it when we're done. So right now it's going to be 5 seconds. Yeah, it's going to be 5 seconds. And then we're going to yeah, unrestrained target will be fine. And then we're going to check some other things here. So honestly, all of this looks okay because it's checking if the person is restrained. It's then saying, getting the item in hands. So it's making sure that you have the item that has the action in your hands. Then it's essentially saying if item in hands is the target, which is the person you're trying to cut the finger off of, and then config get text array can be restrained by. Okay, so this can be restrained by might be a thing that we don't need because it might be working off of something else, which is a config option, right? Can be unrestrained by hacksaw, pliers, handsaw. So here, yeah, if it cannot be, if can be unrestrained by, and then it gets the array, and then I think this is how many seconds it takes to unrestrain, right? So what we want to do is we want to get rid of the array, I believe. All right. Yeah, the guy that messaged in chat earlier, he had followed yesterday. About 15 hours ago, he followed me. Let me see here. Okay, so can be unrestrained by, and then here it is. Can be unrestrained by. So, what if we just comment that out, just to see? And then we'll check everything else. See, array string. So all of this is for that. So let's get rid of that. And then the rest of this should be a good action condition check. All right, now going down to here. Unrestraining tool equal, okay. Okay. So what we want to do is, what's missing functions do? All right. I don't think we need the this init array thing. Sorry, dogs are about to bark. All right. So, based off of this, these actions should technically work. I do need to replace this with that. And then we're going to call this testing cutting off finger. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the ability to cut off for this to be triggered, and then we can work on what doing this action will produce for you. But we got to get the action to work first before we can really go anywhere with it. So we're going to save this into the ND scripts for world, and we're going to call this action cut off finger .c. Okay, then we have to go to our ND scripts real quick, and then we gotta find the action constructor, and then we gotta find our action, and then we gotta register it to the constructor. Copy, boop, and action cut off finger. Okay, so the action is registered. now what we need to do is we need to register it to an item. So we're going to go to our knives, and of course I am in the wrong thing. There it goes, scripts, knife. Alright, so we're just going to go with the kitchen knife real quick. And this is a test, obviously. You don't need to really do anything but add a action to it. So go there, we go to our action cutoff finger, put that in there, save it, and hopefully if we did this right, what will happen is when I pack it, I will be able to boot up the server. When we have a kitchen knife in hand, I can then go up to a tied up player, and it will give me the option to either unbind them or cut off their finger. So we'll see. Be right back. Ben. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so what we want to do is actually we want to go to PBO project real quick, and we want to pack it from there. I just learned the hard way a long time ago not to do it from anywhere else. So crunch. Okay, so let's boot up the server and let's see if any errors happen. Well, no errors. Hmm. wasabi?
According to Wikipedia,
All right. I don't think I'll be able to tie anybody up. All right. Let me ask my friend real quick.
Okay, let's not. Dexter's kind of been in a weird mood today.
Yeah, I can tell.
Dexter, go to bed. I don't trust you. Go to bed.
All right, I'm back.
Like,
Yeah, go to bed. I don't know what your deal is, but
dog was being a bad boy. Sorry about that.
I mean, it's not your fault. Dexter's just kind of being weird today, and I'm not quite sure why.
And I just would like to avoid any dog fights.
Alright. Alright. This is definitely going to be hard to test. Well, let's just spawn in the kitchen knife and see what it says. Nope. Not gonna let me do it. How can I do this? Can I do it in offline mode? Alright. So let's see if we can do this. I think I'll call it quits here in a bit. Okay, so Survivor. Doesn't matter who it is. We need a rope. And we need a kitchen knife. Just call it a knife. Of course it's damaged. Alright, so we can tie up people in offline mode. That's cool to know. So, tie people off in offline mode. Okay, so I can't cut off the finger. Which gives me a pretty good indication. No, I could do this. And somebody just reported something to me. Firewood, and then axe, wood axe, fire axe. Those are the axes I need. I'll have to test on the live server. Alright folks, well I think I'm